Well, Darren, only one place to start, really.
Yeah.
How difficult the decision was it to let Britt go?
Well, listen, it happens. It's happened a lot at the club, you know, in the sense that players doing well, particularly strikers, clubs coming in, and you know the timing of it would have been better. But there's nothing we can do about that. We just go on with it.
Yeah, and as you say, I mean, you've got a history, haven't you, of selling players on for decent money and replacing them, which now is going to be key.
Yeah, it doesn't become any easier to replace them. I mean, I think when you go and look at players and you have a list, I've been fortunate, and Dwight Gale was an absolute definite, and he did what he did. Britt was always the one that had to replace him. It does become more difficult, but obviously me and my staff and the club have got to be aware that these things, or should be aware that these things can happen, because we've got a history of it, and we wish Britt all the best. He's been fantastic for us, in the short spell he was here, and I wish him all the best.
I saw the chairman say in his statement as well that he's committed to bringing in more young, hungry players, so presumably if it hadn't already started, the hunt for his successor has already begun now.
Well, I mean, we do our homework on certain areas and certain positions. I think it's an obvious statement for me to say that we felt that if there was one, maybe two players that were going to get transferred, Britt would be probably one of them. But no, I mean, there's no rush from me, and I'm going to make that clear to the chairman when I see him, that I would be really pushing the investment in the training ground. I really would. I think that's key.
Yeah, I guess there is a danger as well. Clubs know you've maybe got a bit of money to play with. We're getting into August now, well into August. People might try and add a zero onto what maybe you would have got players for in the past.
Yeah, perhaps, because obviously they've seen the fee. And no, I think we just go around our business. I've got to concentrate really solely on my job now on Saturday, and that's been the plan all week. It's been the plan today. The players were excellent, and that's what we've got to concentrate on. And nothing really changes, off the pitch. Everything we do has already been done in terms of preparing for what might happen and what might not happen. So obviously the timing would have been better because you prepared all pre-season for certain things, but listen, it's part and parcel of the game, and we just get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, 33 goals is difficult to replace anyway, isn't it? I mean, you've got quality in your squad in terms of strikers. Obviously Connor and Vassell have played quite a bit during pre-season. Players though that are still finding their feet at League One level, would you say?
Well, I think what you've got to do now, and you've mentioned those two players, there's other players as well, and we've had a meeting this morning, as we were always going to do, in terms of where we want to be this season. There's sort of 33 goals to be filled, and it's within the group that they do that, and we have got some good attacking players. We've made sure that we've targeted a bit more width and more attacking players this season, and we've done that, and we have got some good ones.
It sounds like from what you're saying you're not expecting to have anyone in before Saturday then?
No, definitely not. No, we won't have anyone in before Saturday, as far as I'm aware.
Obviously that could change, because I guess the St Neots game we didn't think Britt was going anywhere.
I'll be keen, and for I don't. Obviously, the chairman I spoke, we're not in a rush, but how things can sometimes just happen. But even if someone was to come in, they wouldn't be involved on Saturday. It's too late. Well, I've done all my prep work today, and I know my team, so we'll wait and see.
Yeah, and presumably you'd stick with the posh way, really, young, hungry, up and coming, a chance to prove themselves at a high level, possibly.
Yeah, no question about that. That's key. Players that if we do go after any, want to come to the club for what we're all about. That's the main ingredient, and that's the ones we've brought in this season have actually really pushed the transfer through. And sometimes players have to do that, and you have to respect them for that, and that's been the case with certainly the ones we've brought in this season. Yeah,
I see the rumour mill's already still doing overtime. Luke James from Hartlepool, young attacking midfielder come striker, you've been linked with today. I think I know what your answer will be, but one you're having a look at?
We're going to get linked with loads of strikers, Nick, and I'm not going to comment on other players that are at football clubs. I'm sure the list will get longer and longer as the days pass, so I'm not going to comment on anyone.
Yeah. How much has it disrupted your preparation for Saturday, Darren? I mean, you've had the chance obviously today to get some good work into the players without Britt, but Washington and Britt have played quite a few games together. Has it come as a real blow there?
It's not disrupted my planning at all. We prep in a way that all the players know exactly what we want to do. Today was no different. All the way through pre-season and all the way through the season in general, all the players understand exactly how we want to play, because of course it's not just people getting sold as injuries or suspensions. The players are fully focused and completely understand how we want to play on Saturday, every one of them.
Yeah. Is it all about this season playing without the shackles, playing with a bit more freedom, enjoying it, as you said to me after Tuesday night?
Yeah, I think that's important, and that was said. Not to set too many targets or expectations in terms of within the group or in that manner publicly. I think everyone that knows the football club, and I suppose it helps with the length of time I've been at the club as a manager, know the standards I require, and they sort of know the DNA of the football club. We know what's success and what's not, and that hasn't changed.
Yeah. Do you feel that pressure from last season kind of bled through into the players towards the middle to end of the campaign?
Yeah, I felt looking back at the season that the way I was with them in terms of my expectations of them, whether they were winning, losing or drawing games, was a little bit too high, and that's something I looked at. And then I think you've got to do that and look at where perhaps you can change a little bit without too much. They've got to understand exactly where you're coming from and in the sense of what's a success and what's not. But perhaps I was a little bit too obsessed with winning that league last season. But I get a good feeling about them this season, the lads. I think they're in a good place. Yeah,
and you'd have to say, looking at the squad you've got, that you'd like to be out there certainly in the playoffs anymore would perhaps be a bonus with it?
I think it's very much a league that this season's there's going to be a lot of clubs that thinking that they can get into that top 6, top 2. I don't really see anyone being a sort of Wolves running away with it and Brentford and that sort of thing. I think you've got your usual ones that people will mention. I just expect us, the group we've got, that will be competitive, whatever that may be.
Yeah, and width looks like it will be important to you, having watched you a few times in pre-season. You've got sort of genuine wide men, haven't you, this season, who've got a bit of pace and can provide some real ammunition?
Yeah, we've still got different formations, but I think there's an area I looked at where perhaps we needed to get round the back of teams a little bit more and play with that little bit more width and pace and energy, and I think that's the one thing I'm going to try and get is more energy into the team in certain areas and be more dynamic, especially in the last third, and I think the players we've brought in has shown that.
Yeah. With that in mind, how's John Taylor? I know you expected him to be fine, but has he come through this week okay?
He's a bit of a doubt for Saturday, I have to say. He's a bit of a doubt. We'll wait and see him tomorrow.
So that 60 minutes that Mendes Lang got that's in the hits might be important?
Yes, I think he's done very, very well, and I think he's definitely ready. There's no question about that. Whether it's as an impact player or as starting the game, he's definitely ready. His fitness levels are really, really good, and I have to say the players' attitude and the way they've gone about it has been fantastic. I've been really pleased with it.
Yeah, we saw glimpses of McAvoy's pace, didn't we, second half against Indians. I mean, when he gets one-on-one with his fullback, he's rapid.
Yeah, but we've got to remember this is the first time he's come out on loan. He's quite a quiet, timid lad anyway. It's difficult to come in and go bang straight into the team, and so I've got to take care of him in that sense. But there's no question the boy's got loads of potential, and it just sometimes when it's your first time out on loan, it just takes a little bit more time to adjust to what's required. But no, I think you've seen for yourself, he's got rapid pace. There's no question about that.
How's Michael Smith?
Michael's fine. Michael trained today. He trained yesterday with a physio. Really good. The injections clearly worked, and he'll be involved Saturday.
Well, that's good news for you, because you thought it might be a case of, I mean, Boswick's done fine, hasn't he? You thought it might be a case of him filling in again.
No, I felt that with Michael, his situation, it might have been a little bit longer, but the injections done the job. He was flying today and yesterday, so I'm really pleased about that, because obviously I want as many fit players as I can have. Yeah.
Oztumer got 45 under his belt, didn't he, on Tuesday night? Has he come through that okay?
Yeah, no reaction train today. Today was always going to be important if there was going to be any reaction. We'll wait and see how he is tomorrow, but he's certainly got a chance of being involved.
The old fixture computers, though, quite a tough one, hasn't it, first up?
Yeah.
Rochdale, I mean, should be on the crest of a wave after winning promotion, and their home form last season was the best in League Two. Yeah,
I think whenever you get a team that's just come up, it's a difficult game, especially away from home, and as you mentioned, their home form. It'll be a tough game, and you know, you look at the start of the season, it doesn't really matter to me, you know. And the only thing I'd say about the fixtures is the first game of the season we're away at Rochdale, and the last game of the season we're away at Oldham, so we've been a little bit unlucky there, but apart from that I don't really pay too much attention to it.
Yeah, they had a great season obviously, didn't they, last season, and they'll be looking to bring that kind of bounce into the new campaign.
Yeah, they had a good season. I mean, they've lost their main goal scorer, Hogan, but they've got some good players, they've got some very good footballers. I've watched them myself against Macclesfield, and Keith's teams always try and play nice football, so they're a good footballing game. And we've done all our prep on them. We know enough about them, the strengths and what we feel maybe weaknesses, and we've just prepared as we normally do.
Yeah, and he's got some experience there, but he's tried to blend in some youth as well, which obviously is a philosophy which you like.
Yeah, no, he does bring young players through, and obviously he started there and then moved and has gone back, so similar to myself, and he's been a real success at Rochdale. So listen, it's not about him and me, it's about the two teams, but his team will try and play, there's no question about that.
And obviously, I mean, stupid thing to say, but you want to get off to a good start. But actually, it can be irrelevant, can't it? Because you got off to a flyer last season, then had a bit of a dip. So it's all about runs of games and putting winning runs together.
Yeah, I mean, I think we really made a statement about, before the ball was kicked last season, how important it was, and we really put a lot into our pre-season about we've got to start well because of the previous season, you know, the relegation in the last day. And so, of course, you want to start well. But as you say, it didn't prove to mean anything last season. What we've got to make sure is, the one clear thing I will say is, there's no way we can have 18 defeats. It's far, far, far too many. You're not going to get promoted on that, so that's something we clearly have to address.
Yeah, because it was 5 more than the promotion campaign previously in League One, so something you need to sort.
Yeah, definitely. There's too many defeats, and that's something we have spoken about this morning. I think that tells a sort of sign about a team that carries that many defeats, and I think that's something obviously we have to get rid of this season.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, with Britt now out of the building and playing with a bit more width, does Tyrone Barnett come into your plans anymore? I know you say he's really applied himself well, but will he become another important part of the armoury now? All
I've ever said to the players as a group is apply yourself properly, go about it the right way, and give me a problem and Ty's in that group, because as I've just said, every one of them's had a right go. Some that obviously were out of favour last season, you know, I don't bear a grudge or anything like that, and it's a clean slate. I have to still say though, and not that it means it's relevant to Ty, I have to still want to get the numbers down. Even though Britt's gone, I still want to reduce the size of the squad.
Yeah, and after that disappointment at Leyton Orient back in May, nice to have the campaign to look forward to again. Try and put that right.
Really looking forward to this. You know, the first game of the season coming up, you do get the butterflies. There's no, that's why you're in it. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope it's an enjoyable season. We play good football, and we all know what the aim is at the end of the season.
You should say nice surroundings.
Yeah.
New training ground is coming together.
Yeah, this is what, you know, puts a smile on your face every morning. It's fantastic. You look around here, and this is why you do it. And this is the best thing the club's ever done, has got this training ground, and that's why I'm really keen on us to continue investing in it if we can, because it is impressive when you come up there. Come up here, sorry.